Good morning, Dr. White. This is Jose Salcido, and I'm submitting my TV Genogram for my favorite TV sitcom, Everybody Loves Raymond. This television series ran on CBS from 13 September 1996 to 16 May 2005. Quickly, the story about the sitcom. The story revolves around the life of an Italian-American named Raymond Barone and his wife and three children. Allie and his twin sons, Michael and Jeffrey. They live on the island of Long Island in Lynbrook, New York, and Ray's parents live across the street. Yes, his parents live across the street, Frank and Marie and Robert Barone. And I want to point you to their family genogram. I'll begin with the in-laws. Ray's parents, Frank and Marie. Of course, they married, had two sons, the older son Robert and the younger son Raymond. And of course, Deborah's parents, Warren and Lois, and they had one child, Deborah. Raymond and Deborah married and had three lovely children. Their firstborn, Allie, their daughter, and their identical twin sons, Michael and Jeffrey. Now, what makes this story so interesting is that Ray's parents have a tendency to interfere with his life a lot. They come over every day. And what happens when they arrive is they create a lot of conflict. Specifically, the mother, Marie. She has a tendency to criticize Deborah's cooking, cleaning, and the raising of the children. She's constantly in conflict with Deborah, and Deborah's constantly in conflict with her, which is signaled by the dotted red lines, the two dotted red lines. Now, there's a reason why Marie is constantly in Ray's marriage. She and Frank are very distant. In fact, Frank is emotionally distant and disengaged from his wife and his children. And because of that, Marie has become emotionally fused, emotionally involved, overbearing, and controlling in her youngest son's life, Raymond. The fusion is signified by the three green lines. While her over-involvement in Ray's life also creates conflict between Raymond and Deborah, because they're constantly talking about setting boundaries and how they should keep. Deborah's constantly talking to Raymond about how they should keep Ray's parents out of their marriage. Of course, since Ray has such a favored status with his mother, Robert, his brother, is jealous. And because he's jealous, both Robert and Raymond have a tendency of picking on each other. And they're constantly fighting, and Robert is constantly saying that everybody loves Raymond. Everyone favors Raymond. And of course, Raymond is the most successful sibling in the family. He's a successful newspaper sports writer for Newsday. He's got a reasonably happy marriage. However, what you can see here is that both brothers are constantly in conflict simply because Raymond has a favored status with the mother. And of course, Frank tends to be obnoxious, crass, tends to offend everyone he comes in contact with. But in reality, even though he's emotionally distant and disengaged, there are times when he allows himself to be emotionally available, when he actually shows his love for his kids. So even though he's emotionally distant and it creates this equilibrium in the family, Frank can be a nice guy once in a while. It looks like Deborah's parents, Warren and Lois, are close. They don't seem to exhibit any problems. That might be to the fact that the characters are not necessarily fully developed in the sitcom itself. I want to point you quickly just to the legend that I wrote. Two straight lines or orange lines signify that the couple is close. Dotted blue line that the relationship is distant. Two dotted red lines that the relationship is conflicted. Three solid green lines that the relationship is fused. Most importantly, I want you to see this. There are at least 4 triangles in this genogram. And you're going to see a pattern here. There's a triangle between Marie the mother, Deborah the daughter-in-law, and Frank the father-in-law. Whenever Marie criticizes Deborah, and she does that a lot, Frank, the father-in-law, comes to Deborah's rescue and defends her. The second triangle is between Raymond, Deborah, and Marie, Ray's mom. Whenever Ray has problems with his wife, of course, Marie, being the lovable mother that she is, comes to Raymond's aid and she protects him. She defends him. That's the second triangle. The third triangle is between Raymond, his older brother Robert, and of course, Marie, the mother. Marie favors Raymond, so whenever there's conflict between the two brothers, Marie naturally defends her son, her youngest son, Raymond, because he has the favored status. And then there's a triangle between Marie, Frank, and the younger son, Raymond. Whenever there's conflict between the parents, Marie naturally becomes overly involved, controlling, and overbearing with her youngest son, Raymond. She becomes involved in his life. If you notice, there's a pattern here. Marie seems to be a part of every relational triangle in the family. It's always the mother, right? And from looking at this pattern, you can see that she has all the power in the family. She pretty much controls every relationship. And the youngest son, Raymond, is the identified patient in the family. He bears the symptoms of the family emotional process. He bears all the anxiety, all the emotional reactivity, and he seems to be the least differentiated of everyone in the family. Yet ironically, he is also the most successful person in the entire genogram, because he seems to be the only one that has a successful career and a successful nuclear family. Well, sir, that concludes my thoughts, and I just want to say hello to my peers, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.